Episode 4: Subjects, Citizens and Maharajas. The massacre in Tutukuri made me think of the political status of those who came out to protest against Sterlite Industries. Formally and constitutionally, they were Indian citizens. Or were they? Were they not aliens, the new militias, a threat to the political order and the state? Or perhaps they were neither citizens nor aliens, but a subjugated people, subjects who were punished because they dared to be citizens. What did the locals do to incur the wrath of the state? They were merely exercising their minimal citizenship rights when they were mercilessly beaten by the police or shot by snipers. They made public their grievance about the vulnerable environmental conditions in which they live, the contamination of groundwater and pollution-induced diseases caused by the Sterlite plant. This discontent notwithstanding, the government, with the alleged connivance of the Tamil Nadu Pollution Board, granted permission to the industry to expand. In deliberately violating their rights, do they not treat them as their subjects rather than as citizens? The distinction between citizens and subjects is important in political thought and practice. To be a citizen is first and foremost to belong to a particular political community. Citizenship gives us a sense of who we are and creates a special bond with other members, a fellow feeling that one might call civic friendship. This is why, along with family, linguistic or religio-philosophical groups, it is a source of commitment and obligation. But citizenship also brings us rights. To secure basic needs, citizens can make claims on each other, and particularly on the state. Protection of life comes immediately to mind. That one will not be killed by arbitrary or intentional acts of others or by man-made disease or pollution is a fundamental human right. In large and complex modern societies, so much has come to depend on the state that it alone must help realize these rights. Other rights without which survival is impossible are dependent on the state too. The right to food, water, clean air, shelter, etc., or rights that marginally improve the quality of our life, for instance, to safeguard our personal possessions, ease of mobility from place to place, public playgrounds, illuminated streets, and protection of personal freedoms. All these exemplify what might be called passive citizenship rights. Passive because we, their bearers, are essentially recipients. We receive these benefits if we follow the law and pay our taxes, and are left alone to care for our families and do our jobs. But unlike other forms of the state, democracy also gives us rights that change the quality of citizenship. They enable active citizenship rights. Rights to publicly complain or protest, to deliberate on issues of public good, to scrutinize and criticize public policies, to hold our governments accountable, to form public associations, to vote, and to stand for public office. Unlike citizens, subjects have none of these rights. Political participation is simply out of the question. Subjects cannot vote, deliberate on public issues, complain, criticize, or stand for public office. They have no claims on the state, not even to basic rights such as the right to life. If they get food, shelter, or any other personal benefit, it is entirely on the goodwill of the state. Conquered people, the colonized, slaves, and all those who live under the law made by others and designed to oppress them are obvious examples. Subjects live in a state meant for others. The state for them is not a political community, but a source of oppressive power. They are located within, but do not belong to the state, nor do they identify with it. Subjects are bereft of civic friendship. All they have is a nameless, non-political relationship with other subjects. So, can we call the Tutukuri protesters subjects of the Indian state? That may not be entirely accurate either. Perhaps rather than view citizenship and subjecthood in terms of a binary, it is best to see them as part of a continuum. On the citizenship-subjecthood continuum, the Tutukuri protesters are barely citizens and mostly subjects. Better still, this continuum should be viewed more dynamically. Large numbers of people in our democratic nation keep sliding from citizenship into subjecthood. Just as they begin to acquire minimal citizenship rights, they are thrown back to being subjects by an economic or political tornado in their lives. This is a normal circumstance of persons under conditions of domination. Whenever oppression increases, people lose their freedoms, cease to be citizens, and become subjects. Those generally without wealth or power are always on the edge of being subjugated. In fact, this is true of most of us. Citizenship or subjecthood is not a fixed location, but a constantly shifting position. When out of fear of government reprisal, the educated middle class shuts up, it turns into subjects. If you want to experience subjecthood, just step in for a moment into any local municipal corporation office. You will instantly feel like a hapless subject of a powerful, opaque empire. However, there are some amongst us who are neither subjects nor citizens except perfunctorily. They command such enormous resources of power and wealth that they treat the entire apparatus of state power as their personal instrument or private property. Some heads of corporations, business magnates, and politicians behave like, and indeed are today's imperial rulers, reincarnated, reckless Maharajas of yesteryears who may exploit, oppress, and dispossess others at their own sweet will. Tutukuri tells us that we are still a deeply divided political unit. Most of us are largely subjects, some are citizens, and a tiny group are Maharajas, who can even use public force as a private army to kill if it serves them or their friends. Thank you.